In a few minutes, I'm going to read the story from the Gospel of John about the little boy who offered what I think was probably the lunch or dinner that his mom had packed in order for Jesus to bless it for the feeding of the 5,000. I think of the witness of children over all the years who have shown us the ways to live and love and give, and some of them who have paid quite a big price for that witness. So this morning I want to share with you at home and here the story Ruby Bridges Goes to School, my true story. And when I was taking the pictures from the book, I included the words because I think that some of our kids at home can read along with me as I share this story. And this is a scholastic book, and it says it is a level 2 reader for all of you out there. I received this book a couple of years ago from an early learning program in the Meadville community called Going Places. So here's the story. Ruby Bridges Goes to School. A long time ago, some people thought that black people and white people should not be friends. In some places, black people were not allowed to live in the same neighborhoods as white people. And I did want to comment on this picture that we don't blame the child for hate. He's been taught that. In some places, black people were not allowed to eat in the same restaurants as white people. And in some places, black children and white children could not go to the same school. This is called segregation. The United States government said segregation is wrong. People should live where they want, people should eat where they want, and children should go to school where they want. My name is Ruby Bridges. In 1960, I went to kindergarten in a school for black children. I liked my school, I liked my teacher, I liked my friends. But there was a school for white children even closer to my house than the school for black children. It was the William Frantz Elementary School. The government said Ruby Bridges should be allowed to go to the William Frantz School. In 1962, I was in first grade. My mother took me to the Frantz School. Marshals came with us to make sure that we were safe. Some people did not want a black child to go to the white school, and they stood near the school and they yelled at me to go away. Parents took their children out of the school. I was alone with my teacher, Mrs. Henry. I loved Mrs. Henry, and Mrs. Henry loved me. I was a very good student. I learned math, I learned how to read, but I wished that the children would come back. Months and months passed, and then one day children began to come back to school. At last, I had friends to play with, and I was very, very happy. Many people read about me in newspapers and books. Famous writer John Steinbeck wrote about me. He wrote that I was very brave. A First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt wrote a letter to me, and she told me that I was a good American. Norman Rockwell was an artist who painted a picture of me. The painting has become very famous. Now I'm grown up, I'm married, and I have children. One day, Mrs. Henry and I were both asked to be on a TV show. That was the first time we had seen each other in many, many years. And now we talk to each other often. I love that picture. Now black children and white children can go to the same school. I like to visit schools. I tell my story to children. I tell children that black people and white people can be friends. And most important, I tell children to be kind to each other. So we give thanks this morning for the wisdom of children, for the welcome and witness of Mrs. Henry, and for all the ways that change has happened for good.